Hi, this is Jody Miller-Young of the Hound Healer, and we are here today with one of my dogs, Jasper. Jasper, say hi. Here. Yeah. Say hi, buddy. I'm talking to you today about rabies. And the reason I brought Jasper along is that he just had to get a rabies vaccine. Now, I don't vaccinate my dogs. So why did I allow him to get a rabies vaccine? Because he's traveling to the UK to see his dad. And it is mandatory for him to get vaccinated. He hasn't had a rabies vaccine in years. And this is why, and this is what I think pet parents need to know about rabies and about rabies vaccines. Some of this information is going to come from Dr. Will Falconer. Dr. Will Falconer is a decades-long homeopathic vet who is now retired from practice but teaches. And he is probably one of the most foremost experts on rabies and on the rabies vaccine. There are two parts to this. One is if your dog or cat gets bitten by a rabid animal. Now, the first thing that I would recommend is for you to check for your specific state and area in terms of how likely that would be. What are the animals that are the likeliest to carry rabies, and how prevalent are they in where you live? Because if you listen to your vet, it is imperative that you vaccinate every 1 to 3 years. And from what we know from many, many years of research and seeing what the rabies vaccine has caused in our animals, that just is not true. So, if your pet gets bitten by a rabid animal, they will begin acting strangely. They will begin growling too easily. They may have trouble swallowing, drooling as a result. And they may start moving very unsmoothly, a little bit jerky, because paralysis is starting to set in. They'll also have heightened sensitivity to noise, to light, to touch, emotions. Rabid animals are very, very sensitive, very afraid of water. Why is this? Because this is a symptom that you might see. When paralysis starts to set in, the throat starts to close. It becomes partially paralyzed. And you might notice some gagging or weird breathing. Drinking can bring on severe spasms that they can have sometimes, and it can make them feel terrified, like they are suffocating. So they have a very heightened sensitivity to water. In dogs or cats that have been rabies vaccinated, there are symptoms that can appear. And when they appear, it could be 1 or 2 months after vaccination. Here are some things to look out for, because oftentimes when these symptoms appear, because it could be a month or 2, pet parents don't make the connection, and there could be a connection. So I'm going to read over a list because it's extensive and it only cuts in a portion of what could come up in your pet. From over-vaccination when it comes to rabies, which has an actual terminology called vaccinosis in homeopathy. Okay, so dogs who furiously bite at running hoses or sprinklers. It's that water thing. Dogs agitated by streams or waves. Dogs who can't resist chasing cars or bikers or joggers because they move in waves, like waves, to their brains. Overly aggressive animals, suspicious of strangers, quickly aroused to bite or to fight. Eating indigestible objects like dirt, rocks. Destroying toys, blankets, bedding. Convulsions, seizures. Incoordination, twitches, tics, jerking. Hysterical behavior on confinement or restraint. This guy, Jasper, This guy has that. Biting oneself to the point where some allergic dogs have actually bitten off toes or a foot. How sad is that? Again, this is just a partial list. Allergies in general, stomach issues. These are all potential fallout from vaccines. With cats, those that crazily chase a laser beam, madly. And in dogs, wild phobias of thunderstorms, especially flashes of lightning. So what do we do? What do we do? We have options today. We just need to feel empowered to utilize those options. And when you go to the vet and they pressure you to get a rabies booster 1 year or 3 years after you've gotten a rabies vaccination for your animal, you can say, no, thank you. Because what you can do is you can get what's called a titer test. Titer tests are done by a blood test. Some vets do them. They charge a decent amount of money to do them, but I'm going to leave a link below this video of a vet who does them far cheaper. You just have to get the blood drawn and sent to this vet. Bit of a pain, but if money is an option, it's worth it. What a titer test tells you is, does your pet's body have enough antibodies to be protective against rabies? And all they need to have is 0.5 or above to be protected. Now, Jasper had his last rabies vaccination years ago, before I knew better. And when I titer tested him in 2016, his reading was 10. Now remember, I said 0.5 and above. He had a 10. In 2019, I titered him again. He had a 9. So in 3 years, he lost 1 point. So he was very protected, and I know he's still very protected, and I'd never vaccinate him if he didn't have to go to the UK. So titer testing is an option, and look below the video for a link to Dr. Rob. If you have to vaccinate, like Jazzy, there is a rabies tautode that Dr. Falconer got for me, and I am happy to steer you to get for yourself, that can be given to your dog. And there are specific instructions of how to dose that will help mitigate fallout from the vaccine. It's actually a homeopathic preparation of a rabies vaccination, a rabies vaccine, rather. A strong immune system. A strong immune system is key to avoiding so much in our animals. The proper diet, no dry food, no canned food. Raw is best. See me, look for other videos of mine for more on this. We'll be talking a lot about nutrition. It's super important, the foundation of the house. So a strong immune system and a healthy gut microbiome, they go hand in hand. So again, we'll talk more about that. And never vaccinate if your pet is under the weather. If they're weak or they have an illness, postpone. Do not vaccinate because their immune system was already compromised. So in summary, Jasper's getting involved now. Jazzy! So in summary, here's what you can do and know about and learn more about. If you can avoid vaccinating, avoid it. Puppy vaccines with rabies will last for years. Sometimes it will offer lifetime protection. So get titer tested. Get your animal titer tested to see exactly where they stand. Number 2, if you must vaccinate for rabies, reach out to me and I'll connect you to get a rabies tautode so that you can help mitigate the fallout. If your animal has been vaccinated multiple times from rabies, take note of the possible side effects that I've talked about in this video. And you then will know, and there are ways, Jazzy, there are ways to mitigate this homeopathically. Build up your animal's immune system and their gut microbiome. They will be stronger. They will fight off everything a lot better. I'm talking about bacterial infections, viral infections, fallout from vaccines, etc. So that's very important. And reach out for any questions that you might have. Never vaccinate an animal that is feeling under the weather. That was the last one. Postpone until they're feeling stronger. I hope this has been helpful. Reach out with any questions. Stay tuned for more videos about tips to help us all be even better pet parents and know more to be empowered pet parents. I'm Jody Miller-Young with the Hound Healer. To their best health ever.